Hello, Dr. Lapham. Hello, class. Today we're talking about assessment styles and approaches that we, as test takers, might find a little bit challenging. We'll talk about the pros and the cons of some of the different techniques and also about potential improvements. And then lastly, we'll tie in the importance of validity, reliability, and rigor. One assessment approach that I tend to find a bit challenging and sometimes even unsettling is learner demonstration. I've been assessed through this approach on more than one occasion when I was working to obtain my athletic trainer's license, and I'll tell you, that was extremely nerve wracking. The first go around, I actually broke down a little bit, I cried, and the assessors stopped the audio recording, so they stopped the tape recorder and just kind of talked to me, asked me some off topic questions just to help me calm down a bit. Learner demonstration involves an assessment measuring the learner's knowledge, understanding, and skills, and is completed either through physical, audio, or visual exhibition, demonstrating one's proficiency for a task. And while learner demonstration can increase a learner's confidence for a task and help enhance one's independent thinking, it can be very time consuming to arrange, and a strict time limit must be identified and agreed upon to ensure that all learners have that same time, that same opportunity to allow for assessment. An important consideration to keep in mind when using learner demonstration is to ensure that the assessment approach is drafted with true intent and purpose, not just being drafted for something to use to take up time. Oral questioning is another assessment style that would be and is actually very challenging for me. This assessment approach involves asking open ended questions directly to the test taker, not giving the learner the opportunity to respond with a yes or a no. Oral questioning offers a great way to assess one's knowledge and understanding for a subject. However, for me, oral questioning is a bit difficult because there are times, more often than not, where I have to process. I take time to process the question, I think things through before responding, and believe it or not, I am a little bit on the shy side, which could make oral questioning uncomfortable. But a great way to challenge a learner's potential, allowing them to really think about what they're learning and then explain it in their own words back to the assessor. There are some disadvantages though, and that involves formatting the question. So please, if you do use oral questioning, make sure that the questions are structured with that open ended format. Otherwise, you're giving the opportunity for the learner to be providing you with a yes or no rather than being able to demonstrate their knowledge with a more thorough answer. Oral questioning can also pose challenges within a large group because it has the potential to lose its structure if the facilitator doesn't have control over the assessment. It can also tend to be a little bit time consuming in that large group because the conversations can just build off of one another. So keeping the oral questioning event structured is key. And as a best practice, the facilitator of the sessions might want to call out someone by name, identifying a specific person to answer the question rather than allowing anyone to just call out the answer. And the other tip with oral questioning is to use this assessment strategy at different times throughout the program, space it out a little bit rather than asking all of the questions at the same time. Assessments, be it in the educational setting or even the professional environment, they serve multiple purposes. One being to determine whether or not the student has met the identified learning outcomes. And oftentimes I found when there's a struggle of some sort for the student, on behalf of the student with the assessment, the student tends to receive the blame, right? Whether it's due to their background or their overall diversity. So, to ensure equitable opportunity for success, it's crucial that inclusion is kept front of mind when developing these assessment questions. This involves creating the assessment in a way that enables all students the opportunity to demonstrate their knowledge and understanding to their full potential. And I see this here at FedEx, sadly. A lot of the training that new hires must complete is in the format of online learning through our learning management system. And it's available in French and English. That's it. So this puts those learners whose primary language is not English or French at a great disadvantage, oftentimes relying on a peer or even a manager to translate that training for them, providing them that support. Validity, reliability, and rigor. Let's talk about that a little bit. Ensuring that stakeholders, those that are both visible and hidden, are engaged, involved, and heard during the entire life cycle of the assessment is one way to ensure the validity of an evaluation. It is critical to ensure that the person collecting the data is properly trained and they have a thorough and clear understanding of the evaluation needs and potential outcomes. When it comes to reliability, if there's going to be more than one person involved in the data collection, it is important to work with them, making sure that both evaluators observe in a similar setting, interpreting the same responses to measure their agreement, spending time maybe talking about the differences in the responses, creating general rules or guidelines to help format the scores. One way to enhance the rigor of an evaluation is to ensure that both quantitative and qualitative methods are used when creating the assessment, being more mindful and open to the different methods and approaches when using and designing an evaluation. That's what I have for you today. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.